two major points that clash directly with what Yael told us. First of all, I'm going to show why it is a free, rational, and legitimate choice for women to make. And second, I'm going to show why they're actually very hypocritical in what they say. Because already today, we enable the same choices for men, and we enable the same choices for other organs of the body. Meaning that they want to simply control the uterus of women. And afterwards, I'm going to show you why we can actually empower women by letting, especially the poor ones, do this as a choice. So let's start with the idea of choice. So when do we let people choose over their body? First of all, when there is no grave and irreversible damage. We already let people damage themselves, you know, cigarettes and so on and so on. Now the damages that they have given us is basically the damages of birth. And we did not get the explanation why carrying a baby in your arm is worth more than carrying a lot of money in the bank to take care of your other children. So there is no explanation there why this suffering all of a sudden changes. Further than that, she doesn't engage with the idea that already today people make choices about their body that can be even worse. Because if you go to construction, if you go to agriculture, and even if you are a soldier and you decide to rent yourself on a tour of duty on a temporal matter in Iraq, then you let someone else control your body and exactly what is going to happen with that. And why? Because it is for a purpose that matters, and it is a matter of choice. Now, they're telling us there is no opting out, but there is no opting out of many situations of poverty, basically. Because if you know that you can only take the job in McDonald's because it's near your place and they are willing to hire you, despite of the fact that you have kids, you don't really have a choice. And even if you're harassed there, and even if things are bad, you don't necessarily have the choice of opting out and leaving. And further than that, being a surrogate is actually temporal. Because if you work in a factory, the 4 hours of sleep at night is not really freedom to do whatever you want with your body. Because you are suffering tremendously. While we have here is 9 months of pregnancy, which isn't necessarily bad, which is something that you are being taken care of even better than other women choosing to become pregnant themselves, because the parents have a vested interest in you, so they want the best for you, and they will do everything they can. And it actually points out to the humiliation point, because since the parents are dependent on the surrogate, the surrogate actually has a leverage on them when a priori when it comes to negotiating with the parents, so she can get many things that she would like from them, and during the pregnancy, because they don't want her to be upset, they don't want her to run away, and so on, meaning that she is already empowered within that process. Now, why is that a free choice? So first of all, it is a matter of contract. It's not like you want a child and you go to someone on the street and say, hey, do you want to have my baby? No, usually there is a process of someone advertising himself or someone answering an ad, meaning that there is a choice and there was time to think before that. Second of all, there is the negotiation process, which is pretty long and usually involves lawyers and usually involves being told what is going to happen and negotiating on what exactly the terms will be. And through this time, there are many moments when you can decide that you don't want to go through with it. You decide that the parents are not nice, you decide that you don't want it, and you can do it. And even we allow abortions in certain cases for the woman, meaning that it's not clean. And second, the next thing is that the alternatives actually narrow down the choices of women, and more of that to continue. And it is rational because a woman can decide what is best for her, to have money or to have maybe the damages of the pregnancy, and they do it just like any other job, and it is okay. Now here we come to the point about today the choices that we allow people, and why we think that they are being hypocrite in what they're telling. Because who is it harder to be poor in today's society? To be a poor man or to be a poor woman? It's harder to be a poor woman. Why is that? Because usually they end up with the kids, and because of the job market that usually treats them as a secondary citizen, meaning lower wages, meaning worse jobs, and so on. Now we say that their choices are already limited. And what we allow them is another choice. Now, men always get to choose to do something with their body. We let them sell their sperm. We let them sell their physical labor, which is much more easier for them because they are stronger. Let's face it, they can do things that women can't. But yet, what they're telling that women cannot use the only thing that they have that gives them leverage over men. And that is something that limits all of their choices. This is something that is not fair when you compare them to men, and this is something not fair when you compare them to arms or legs or backs or any other organ. So you want to control only their uterus, and that is patronizing, and that is something that discriminates women. Because further than that, you tell them that they cannot make the choice when it comes to their uterus, while they can make the choice when it comes to other organs. So you are actually making them inferior, and you send a bad message. I'll take Amos.
Can you please explain to us the nature of the psychological harm towards a person that is being sold to another person for a monetary price?
So we're saying, and this was my entire first point, she's not being sold. She chose it, and it is exactly like a soldier. So engage with that in your speech. Now, further than that, we say that there is the message that we need to protect women from their choices. They cannot make the right choice. They're hysterical because they have a uterus. And we actually show that we're giving them options to get out of poverty, because with the money that they get, they can invest it in the long run. They can work in some of the time that they are pregnant. They can get medical treatment that will make sure that they will be healthier in the future for their own children to take care of them. They can build a house. They can do many things that right now they can't because unfortunately they are women. We are giving them a way out. We are giving them a way out that is unique to them. We're giving them a way out that no one else can take from them. And we call you to let them make that choice, just like you let everyone else make choices when it comes to their bodies. Please make this legal.